Welcome to Daily Papers.
The podcast where we dive into one fascinating research paper every day and figure out what it means for the rest of us.
Today, we're talking about a tool that has completely taken over our world in the last few years: artificial intelligence, specifically the large language models, or LLMs, like ChatGPT.
Right. We use them to rate emails, plan vacations, you name it. And it turns out scientists are using them too. A lot. Especially social scientists who have to analyze massive amounts of text.
Exactly. Imagine you're a researcher who wants to know if political speeches are getting more negative over time. In your days, you and a team of students would have to read thousands of speeches and label each one. It would take months, maybe years.
But now you can just ask an LLM to do it for you. Give it the speeches and say, label these as positive, negative, or neutral. And it can do it in a few hours. It seems like a scientific revolution.
It does. But a new paper titled LLM Hacking suggests there's a huge hidden risk to doing this, a risk that could be undermining the science itself.
LLM hacking. That sounds serious. Is this about cybersecurity, like someone breaking into the AI?
That's what I thought at first, but no. The authors use hacking in a statistical sense. It's more like the scientific equivalent of jerry-rigging something until you get the answer you want.
Okay, explain that. How do you hack a research result with an AI?
Well, when a researcher uses an LLM, they have to make a lot of seemingly small choices. Which model do I use? GPT-4? Llama 3, a smaller open source model? How exactly do I word my instructions, my prompt, to the AI?
And I guess those little choices can change the output.
They can change it dramatically. The paper shows that just by tweaking these settings, a researcher can accidentally or intentionally get a completely different result. They could find a statistically significant effect that isn't really there, or miss one that is. That's LLM hacking.
So a study could conclude political speeches are getting more negative. But if the researcher had used a slightly different AI model, it might have concluded there's no change at all.
Precisely. And the scary part is that both studies might look perfectly legitimate on the surface. To figure out how big this problem really is, the authors of this paper did a massive experiment.
What did they do?
They took 21 published social science studies and basically redid them. They used 18 different LLMs to perform 37 different text labeling tasks, things like identifying hate speech, ideology, or the emotion in a piece of text. In total, they generated 13 million AI-powered labels.
13 million. Wow. So what did they find? Is LLM hacking a rare thing, or does it happen a lot?
It happens a lot. This is the headline finding. For even the best, most powerful AI models, there's about a 1 in 3 chance that the conclusion will be wrong due to LLM hacking.
1 in 3? That's incredibly high. So a third of studies using this method could be drawing the wrong conclusions.
That's the risk, yes. And for smaller, less powerful models, the risk jumps to 1 in 2, 50%. A coin flip.
That's terrifying. But that's for researchers who are well-intentioned, who are just accidentally making choices that lead to the wrong answer. What about someone who wants to cheat the system?
This is where it gets even worse. The paper finds that intentional LLM hacking is, and I'm quoting here, unacceptably simple.
No way.
Yes. They found that if a malicious researcher has a specific result they want to prove, they're almost guaranteed to find a combination of AI model and prompt that will give it to them.
So if I want to prove that tweets about a certain brand are overwhelmingly positive, I just keep trying different AIs and slightly different instructions until one of them spits out the data I need.
Exactly. The researchers showed that you could manufacture a fake result, what we call a false positive, in 94% of cases. You can make an effect appear out of thin air.
That feels like it breaks the whole system of science. And what about things we thought would protect us? Like, isn't there a whole field called prompt engineering dedicated to writing the perfect instructions for AI? Does that help?
Surprisingly, not much. The paper found that the choice of model and the specific task matter a lot, but the details of the prompt account for less than 1% of the variation in outcomes. You can't just prompt engineer your way out of this problem.
Okay, this is all pretty bleak. Did the paper offer any solutions, or are we doomed to a future of unreliable AI-driven science?
Thankfully, they did find some solutions, and the biggest one is beautifully simple: humans.
Humans, the very people the AI was supposed to replace.
The very same. They found that having a human expert label just 100 pieces of text provides better protection against false positives than having an AI label over 100,000 pieces of text.
That's an amazing statistic. A little bit of real human expertise is more powerful than a mountain of AI data.
It is. It shows we can't completely automate this process. The second big solution is about transparency. The authors recommend that researchers pre-register their choices.
What does that mean?
It means before you even start your analysis, you publicly declare, I am going to use this specific AI model with this exact prompt. That way, you can't go back and try a bunch of different options until you get a result you like. It locks you into one path.
It keeps the researcher honest. I like that. So what's the big takeaway for us, the people reading the news about these studies?
The authors say we need to stop seeing LLMs as convenient, magic black boxes that just give us answers. We need to see them as complex instruments that require rigorous validation.
Like a powerful new microscope. You wouldn't just take it out of the box and trust the first image you see. You have to calibrate it, understand its quirks, and double-check its results.
That's the perfect analogy. So when you see a headline about a new social science study that used AI to analyze text, be a little bit more skeptical. Ask how they validated their tool. Because as this paper shows, without those checks and balances, the results might not be worth the digital paper they're written on.
A powerful warning for the age of AI. That's all the time we have for today.
Join us next time on Daily Papers.